In this video, we'll look at how to find the vertex in two ways. So the first way is going to be complete the square. We're going to start with the equation y equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. And you can watch the video on complete the square. If you do, you know that the first thing we'll do is pull the 2 out of the first two terms. That is, we're going to find the greatest common factor of these first two terms, which is 2. So we go 2x squared divided by 2, and we're left with x squared, and 8x divided by 2, and we're left with 4x. You just pull it out of the first two terms. The last term just stays there. Okay, now, as you've seen in the Complete the Square video, we want to identify the x term coefficient, the xtc. That's the thing in front of the x here, a 4. Divide it by 2, which is 2, and square it, which is 2 squared is just 4. Put this in a box, just to keep it separate from the rest of our work. So if we take the x term's coefficient, divide it by 2 and square it, that's the number we should add and subtract in the brackets. So we get x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 4, all in the brackets. The minus 10 just stays outside. And so we have y equals, that 2's just sitting out in front. Meanwhile, inside the brackets, we complete the square. Please watch the video on complete the square if you haven't seen it already. These first three terms become the completed square using the div2 number. We get x plus 2 squared. Now we pop this minus 4 out of the brackets. This minus 4 comes out, but it still has to be times by 2. And there's still a takeaway 10 there. So what we've really done is gone from standard form to vertex form. Now we have y equals 2 times x plus 2 squared. And now we can do the math in our heads or on our calculator. Minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Minus 8 minus 10 is minus 18. Now that we've got it from standard form to vertex form, we can see that the vertex is just the numbers we see here, except flip the x value. If this is plus 2, the vertex x is minus 2, and this is the vertex y, negative 18. Got the vertex. We can do it in a second way, though. We don't have to complete the square. A longer way, but for some an easier way, is to factor. So the first thing we want to do is common factor. What goes into 2x squared, that goes into 8x, that goes into negative 10? The common factor is 2. And so we're left with 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. So what multiplies to negative 5 and adds to 4? The numbers are 5 and negative 1. And so we get, by Bergman technique, you can watch the video on Bergman technique, we get x plus 5 and x minus 1. So we have our equation in factored form. Now let's find the zeros. Set the equation equal to 0. And now that we've done that, we can solve for the two zeros by going two pieces. So either this x plus 5 equals 0, or the x minus 1 equals 0. Lots of times students ask me, what about the 2? When you're finding the zeros, you don't need to worry about that. It's just what makes these two brackets 0. You could include the 2, but it wouldn't change your answer. You'll get x plus 5 equals 0, subtract 5 both sides. One of the zeros is negative 5. And x minus 1 equals 0, so add 1 both sides, and x equals 1. Those are our two zeros. But remember, we're looking for the vertex. Well, we can find it by finding the vertex x value. You just take your two zeros, add them together, and divide by 2. Now you get negative 5 plus 1, that's negative 4, divided by 2, which gives you negative 2. We've got the vertex x, now we just need the vertex y. The vertex y is just sub in the vertex x, negative 2, into the equation. You can use the standard form equation. I prefer the factored form equation, it's a little faster. I get 2 times negative 2 plus 5, and then negative 2 minus 1. You get 2 times, what's negative 2 plus 5? That's negative 3. Negative 2 take away 1 is negative 3. And now in your head or on a calculator, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then times negative 3, wait a minute, it gives us positive 18. I should have got negative 18. What went wrong? Oh look, negative 2 plus 5, that should have been positive 3. Change that. Always good to check our work. So we have 2 times 3 is 6, times 3 is negative 18. And we'll just go up here and state the vertex, which we knew what it was going to be. The vertex is negative 2 for the x and negative 18 for the y. So that's how you can find the vertex, two ways. From standard form, you can either complete the square, or from standard form you can first factor. I common factored, then I Bergman technique, found the zeros, and with the zeros got the vertex x, and with the vertex x got the vertex y.